concludes the business of council for this evening, other than the mayor's report, and I am pleased to provide the mayor's report for the period of February the 19th through March the 3rd. I will note that it was a fairly busy time during the last 2 weeks with a number of events, but also a number of challenges and issues facing the City of Thompson and indeed the residents of our community. Just to highlight some of the opportunities that I did attend over the last 2 weeks, along with participation by council. On February the 18th, I had the opportunity to attend the Project Northern Doorway Blessing. Elder Jack Robinson provided words of wisdom and encouragement in terms of blessing the facility. I want to note I was joined at that event by Councillor Byer, Councillor Collada, Councillor Locker, and I look forward to Project Northern Doorway opening the doors. I was very pleased with the large turnout at that event. On February the 19th, I had the opportunity to conduct the swearing-in ceremony for the new Thompson Chamber of Commerce board. I want to congratulate President Oswald Saw, who will be starting his second year in that position. And later that evening, I had the opportunity to attend the annual general meeting, and again, Councillor Collada was there as well. It was a very interesting evening, and Councillor Byer. They had the chief economist from the Business Development Bank of Canada who spoke on the trends in Canada, and it was very interesting to hear where the economy is going. And also what struck me was the real impact it has on our local economy. So look forward to seeing if his predictions come to fruition. Also on the 19th, I had an opportunity as a member of the Industrial Skills, Trades and Training Committee to meet with Deputy Mr. Farthing of Education. It was an excellent opportunity to update the Deputy Minister on the plans moving ahead both in the short term and the long-term vision for an industrial skills, trades, and training facility here in Thompson, one that I think we can all acknowledge that is very much needed. I commend President Conrad Jonason from UCN, who is taking the lead on that, and I look forward to really a discussion of all the stakeholders, including industry, the province, us as a city, and the other stakeholders to move forward on making the industrial skills, trades, and training facility a reality. On February the 18th, I attended first the Thompson Unlimited board meeting, and very pleased with the progress, that is being made by Thompson Unlimited in this transition in terms of new interim general manager Gord Wakeling, who will be appearing in the near future in front of council along with President Rick Oberdorfer to update council on the progress. Later on that evening, I had the opportunity to visit the Thompson Boys and Girls Club as a part of their Leo Day with which is local elected officials, opportunity to attend and see what's taking place. I want to tell you that first I was joined by school trustee Janet Brady, who attended, who is also a board member of the Boys and Girls Club. But I can't tell you how impressed I was, first, with the work that has been done at the facility, the programs that are taking place, the commitment of the staff, and what really moved me was the number of youth that were at that facility and the opportunity we had to have the discussion. It just so happened, and I only have half of the cards that were presented to Trustee Brady and myself because she took the other half. But we both received a number of cards from the youth, and each card was addressed from the individual, but they talked about first what they love about Thompson, and secondly what they love about the Boys and Girls Club. And you know, I say it all the time, but sometimes I think in this chamber we forget, just like every other elected body, about the connection with the real community and what it means at that level. And I really commend the Boys and Girls Club for the work that they're doing. Tremendous to see the youth. It was phenomenal to read what you say. And if you ever, and believe me, there's times I get perhaps a little frustrated in the job and even a little jaded by some of the comments I see and hear. If you ever want to see something uplifting and really energetic, read these cards, because that's what the youth see in this community, and it's nothing but positive things. They talk about fun, they talk about opportunities, they talk about people they know, and they talk about how important the Boys and Girls Club is. So absolutely phenomenal night. Encourage people to attend, and not just on that evening, but at any time. And the other thing I encourage is that here's another organization that is constantly challenged by funding, and encourage people to give to the Boys and Girls Club so they can continue to provide the great programs. Mr. Sepitelli, perhaps you can split those up and pass those out to members of council so they can take a look. And my last comment is thank you to the boys and girls at the Boys and Girls Club, who I promised I would not only go back and visit them again, but also invite them here so they can come visit council. On the 21st of February, I had an opportunity to meet with Minister Peter Bjornson, who is now the Minister of Housing. I was joined again in that meeting by a number of members of council, Councillor Beyer, Councillor Hogan, Councillor Collada. Again, correct me if I'm missing anyone. But it was a good opportunity to have a good discussion with Minister Bjornson, who, as I've said, has always been very accessible and has always been very committed to working with the City of Thompson. We talked specifically about housing, especially affordable housing, and the great things that have been done in our community over the last couple of years. And I remind people how far we have come in just a few years, and I give a lot of that credit to former Mayor Bill Kamaski, who initiated the Housing Task Force in 2006, and that really was the basis for starting to address, and it's amazing, if you go look at that document, how many of those recommendations have now been implemented. So it's the vision of leadership previously that leads us to where we are, and I really appreciate that. We also talked about the need to continue the affordable housing as well as market-driven housing initiatives, and we had a very special opportunity to meet with representatives from the Seniors Housing Committee with the Minister. This is the first time for the City of Thompson to pursue a seniors housing complex. I've asked the Minister for full support as we move forward from him and his department, and I'm confident that will be there. His department has issued a request for proposals, I believe is what it's called, and the committee will be submitting that in the near future. On the 25th, I had the opportunity to provide greetings at the Manitoba Heavy Construction Expo North. It was held for the first time in our city at the Thompson Regional Community Center. First, I want to thank the staff at the TRCC for the great work they did in hosting that event. It was absolutely phenomenal to see that facility used for another purpose, in this case, a convention for Northern Manitoba. I also want to thank the Manitoba Heavy Construction Association, Chris Lawrence, and all his staff. I had an opportunity to meet with him last August. They hold an expo every year in southern Manitoba. He said he wanted to move it to northern Manitoba. We had a lunch meeting in Winnipeg while I was down on some other business, and from that, and thanks to the work of some of our staff, it really did materialize in a very short time, exceeded their expectations for the number of registrations. I can tell you the City of Thompson got a real bang for the buck because we put a number of our own employees through training, and we're able to do it right here locally. And I also want to acknowledge the tremendous effort by Peter Pollock from Smooks, who really was the lead guy here in Thompson for making that a reality. And you're never going to meet a bigger promoter of Thompson and Northern Manitoba for the heavy construction industry than Peter. So it was a great event. I'll just note that on the 26th, along with Councillor Beyer, Councillor Hogan, Councillor Robinson, and Councillor Collada, we had a chance to attend a reception and speak with the Heavy Construction Association. I think we'd all agree they were very pleased with the outcome. So again, thank you to them. On the 25th, I had a teleconference with Minister Chomniak, Minister of Mines, regarding the upcoming Prospectors Developers Association of Canada conference in Toronto. I advised that we would not be attending this year, as normally we travel with Valet, and they do not have the same presence this year as in past years. Also had a brief update on the current situation in terms of Thompson, and I'm confident that, as I think most know, we're moving towards, I believe, a very positive future in the mining industry in this community. And again, I acknowledge the stakeholders that came together under the direction of Minister Chomniak, including Valet, the United Steelworkers, and the City of Thompson. So I think that that has worked very well, and I thanked him for his leadership. Also on the 26th, I attended for a brief time, and I'll give the credit to the councillors, Councillor Collada, Councillor Byer, who were in the whole meeting. The seniors committee met, and I did have an opportunity to sit in briefly, and again, they're moving forward. They're going to be going out to the community, I think, fairly soon, and really starting to judge the need for seniors, housing, as well as a commitment in terms of funding to make it a reality. So I wish them well. And then on the 28th, I provided greetings at the Keewatin Tribal Council 14th Annual Tribal Days opening ceremonies at the C. Nesbitt Arena. I think we did a very quick turnaround from a conference to a hockey tournament, and again, the staff did a great job. Lots of teams from throughout northern Manitoba participating, and I want to thank KTC and specifically Chief Walter Spence, chairperson, and Sharon McKay, executive director, for the great work that they're doing in terms of the partnerships with the City of Thompson and hosting that event in our community. And lastly, this morning I had a chance to draw the lucky name in the Co-op gas bar draw. And so that individual can thank me, all the other individuals, and I don't think I've ever seen a draw box with more slips in it than I saw today. They can blame me. So one lucky individual gets a trip out of that. In terms of upcoming, I can note that we do have the Association of Manitoba Chiefs in our community for the next 2 days, and they will be holding an assembly. I welcome all the chiefs from throughout Manitoba to our community. Look forward to tomorrow being able to provide some greetings. Just a couple things I want to note before I finish off, and that is that we really have had some real unique challenges over the last week. First, I want to thank the RCMP and Thompson Fire and Emergency Services with addressing some of the issues and challenges that they faced over the week. It was, again, we have some of the best personnel trained with the equipment, and I'm absolutely confident that when situations arise, they address them professionally, timely, and I was very appreciative of the communication that was provided to the community in a timely manner. So again, Chief Mascarene and to Inspector Duff, I really appreciate the work that the members are doing and the relationship. Another challenge huge for us over the last week, I think people are familiar, certainly they are in my neighborhood, and that is that we have faced some real water issues. We've had two major breaks, the first being on Oak Street, a major break. I've never seen the impact of that break in this community. It heaved the road probably 2 to 3 feet on a main line. We had to go in there, and I will acknowledge that it took us a couple days, and there's a reason for that. It was a very serious dig. We had to first ensure that we were going in there in a safe operation point of view, that we had a plan in terms of how we had to address it, that we had a plan in terms of working with Fire and Emergency Services to ensure adequate water coverage for both their needs as well as other institutional needs in the community. And I want to commend Wayne Kaversky on putting that plan together. We were able to get in there, complete that dig. We had hoped that that was going to solve some of the low pressure issues that were being experienced in specifically the Riverside and some of the Deerwood area. It didn't have as big an impact as we had hoped, and we soon discovered by working closely with the water treatment plant that we were losing a tremendous amount of water, and we had to locate the cause of that. We have now been able to isolate the general area of that break. I wish I could tell you we knew the exact area of that break, but we still don't. And so over the last few days, the Riverside area, and including my own area, so I've been getting some concerns expressed even from those in my own household in terms of the low water pressure. But I can tell you that, again, we have been working on that situation. We will be back there tomorrow. We have had some success in terms of addressing the low pressure. We've been able to get some of the area back up to full pressure by isolating specifically where we're in. We've also made available to the homes that are still impacted, as well as the businesses, the provision of water and the availability of the utilization of the Thompson Regional Community Center and the Northplex Pool for showering facilities. I fully acknowledge the inconvenience and the frustration that residents have, and I thank so many people for their cooperation and their patience. Again, this is a difficult process in terms of isolating it. It never surfaced to the ground or to the surface, largely because of frozen ground, and it made its way first to the storm sewer. Is that right, Mr. Sepitelli? So it's been difficult to pinpoint. We hope to have some additional equipment in tomorrow to be able to do that and get that back up and running. That has required a major allocation of our resources. We still have some breaks on the board after that. Then we will get back to moving some of the snow in the areas. But it has been a huge challenge. I absolutely want to again commend Wayne Kaversky and his staff. Last week on Thursday, when they were at that dig, we started out at -55 in the morning, and they were out. And they did some amazing things in terms of how to address that. So I appreciate their efforts. I thank residents of Thompson. I ask for a little bit more patience until we get this right. And never before, I think, has it been so clear that the problem with our infrastructure will never fix itself, that it only gets worse. And we need to continue that emphasis on the replacement of the infrastructure, and we are fortunate that we have the utility to do that. When we looked for some additional equipment today, we went to some of our neighboring communities right throughout this province. Most of the communities said, we'd love to help you, but we can't because we're in the same boat. We're digging, and we need all the equipment where we're at. I believe the town of Snow Lake, Mr. Sepitelli, is providing some equipment necessary?
That is correct.
So, again, thanks to everyone. Lastly, by the virtue of authority vested in me as Mayor of Thompson, I hereby proclaim the month of March 2014 as Nutrition Month in the City of Thompson. I know many people attended other events, so I'm going to open it up to members of council if there's anything else they want to update our report on. Deputy Mayor Fenske.
Just quickly, on February 21st, Friday, I attended the AMM Cities Caucus on behalf of the Mayor in Winnipeg with Minister Swan, Minister of Justice, and the AMM staff as well. Discussion topics were the 2008 recruitment, RCMP recruitment fund that was established and came to an end at the end of March 31st of 2014. The aim at the time was to hire 2,500 officers across Canada. That program has been concluded. The Cities Caucus was asking the province to talk to the federal government in regards to extensions of that program. Minister Swan conveyed that they had those conversations, and the program will not be renewed. It's come to its completion. For the City of Thompson, that affects 2 officers that were funded by that fund, and as of March 31st, they are no longer funded through that program. Another item was in regards to RCMP costs, in regards to overtime and RCM costs related to mental health supervision while in care. Those are both issues that are dealt with through the Municipal Policing Services contract. There are 22 communities in Manitoba that have policing contracts with the RCMP and Public Works Canada. So those issues were raised, and we are working with the RCMP financial departments to see what measures can be taken to control those escalating operational costs. Thank you.
Any questions, comments? Any further updates? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.